Good evening, excuse me, I have a horsey voice. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Premier, and the Cabinet. My name is Cheryl Simmons. Madam Premier and the Finance Minister, I'm addressing this question to you as the Finance Minister. The Retirement Pension Fund that was put in place in 2000, mandatory, I believe. I have now reached the age, and I'm going to have to give my age away, last year of retirement. Last year, I went to the BFNL because I wanted the monies that I paid already, that is my money. I wanted that money in a lump sum. I have a daughter who works in the high level of a bank in our country. She was going to do due diligence to invest this money for me where I can get a reasonable monthly dividend. I went and talked to Mrs. Souza of the Pension Commission. He told me that because the government made the rule that you cannot get it in a lump sum, he may be able to see if I can get a stipend, that amounts to buying candy bars per month. I told him that was unacceptable. I explained to him that this is what I wanted this money for. Me, it's my money. I'm not asking for anything that's not mine. Anyway, he said, another reason is that I might spend it all and have to go on social assistance. Well, Madam Premier, I am now at that point where I have to go to social assistance, and I really do not want to do it, but if I have to do it, I will.
About the private sector pension funds. Regrettably, current law legislation doesn't mandate government allowing access, save in 3 cases. And that was as a result of the changes we put through last year. And it was seen as radical, really, because pensions are seen as something that you have as a nest egg when you get older and retire. We felt because of the economic downturn, we should look at pensions in a different way. And we also recommended to the private sector, and we mandated by legislation that there would be access based on hardship. We had a very, very tight framework, and that was hardship in terms of medical emergency, and also in terms of schooling, and also I think in terms of for mortgage. But that is the private sector pension plan. It was probably radical for government to be as interventionist as we were, and we certainly had to narrowly wrap it around in terms of 3 cases, and those were the 3 cases. I think that in terms of private sector, while I was Minister of Finance, probably in 2006, there were a number of people, a steady stream where people were in danger of losing their houses because of mortgage arrears. And even though it's exceptional for us to be getting in the business of the private sector pensions, we felt that this should be something which allowed people to have access to them in these cases. But unfortunately, it hasn't been opened up any wider than that. It would be different. In fact, what I would expect is that the public sector pension funds and those who are beneficiaries will probably be lobbying government, because they don't have that latitude. They can't even access their public sector pension funds for cases of hardship. We will do a study so that we can look at, if we have to do that, what will be the discount value, because clearly if we allow access, it's going to mean that people are either going to increase their contributions or have only a discounted value. But the short answer is that currently under legislation, there is no power, no discretion by the minister or any other minister to mandate to private sector pension service providers to allow you access. Legislation was very much tightly wrapped around in terms of hardship in the three criteria that I told you. I think civil servants and others have to be very careful when they talk to members of the public and not be paternalistic or patronizing or condescending and talk about what you might do or what you might do if you don't get it. But having said that, I can only give you what the rules are, what the law is, and tell you that at this present time there is no further latitude.